I have been a computer technician since the 1980s and an IT manager since the 1990s. Over those decades of using computers, I have standardized my computer system drive layout with what I believe to be the most optimal setup for my use and for complete system recovery. The system drive layout includes redundancy without the hassles and issues of a RAID setup. I have a good number of computers in my home office because I believe in separating computer systems by role. I have separate computers dedicated to running software for my office, 3D and CAD, media and video production, software development, home theater computer, and others. Each of these computers utilizes a similar system drive layout with minor variations. For example, systems that include virtual machines have a dedicated fast SSD drive for the VM drive hosting. The VM drives are also compacted and backed up regularly to the main data drive. I don't use RAID because one of the limitations and drawbacks with RAID is garbage in equals garbage out. If you do something like accidentally delete a file, it will be deleted on both mirror drives. With the redundant drive setup, it is a simple task to recover a file so long as you do it before the next backup script daily cycle. With this drive setup, I have never lost a single file in decades of computer work. The main layout that is used by all of my systems consists of a 500 gig SSD OS drive that contains Windows and the specific software for the computer role. I do not store any data on the OS drive, not even in the Documents folders. A 1TB through 6TB data drive that contains all of my data files. The data drive may be an SSD or a higher performance drive such as a WD Velociraptor or Black. This may include additional files or folders for such things as virtual machine drive backups. A data backup drive that matches the data drive for storage size, but is often a lower power drive such as a WD Green. This drive contains a daily backup copy of the data drive contents using a robocopy backup script. An OS clone drive that matches the OS drive for storage size, but is often a lower power drive such as a WD Green. This drive contains a direct clone of the OS drive using Macrium Reflect and is cloned usually every month or so. The only other drive not shown in this list is the DVD or Blu-ray drive that is installed in some of the computers. I also back up very important data to the cloud. I use a 100 gig Google Drive to store double encrypted files. Each data drive typically contains only two root folders, a data root folder and a temp root folder. The data folder is the top root level folder for all data files for easier script backup of all subfolders and files. Using software such as Acronis Free or Macrium Reflect Free is a quick and easy way to clone the OS drive to an OS clone drive. This allows for system recovery in the event of an OS drive failure by simply changing the boot drive in the BIOS. I typically clone the OS drive after any significant changes or updates or installs, or every few weeks and at least once a month. That way, the OS clone drive will only ever be at most a few minor Windows updates from being fresh and current. The robocopy script to mirror the data folder is very basic and simple, and can be easily scripted into a batch file that can be manually ran every night, or automate the batch file in the Windows scheduler. The typical setup like this can be easily accomplished on most modern motherboards since it only requires at most 5 or 6 drives. If more drives are required, such as for additional data drives and their mirrors, it is an inexpensive step to install a PCIe SATA interface card that supports 2, 4, or more additional drives.